If you measure the force between two static charges, you get a constant called the permittivity of free space, epsilon naught. If you measure the magnetic force between two parallel currents, you get another constant called the permeability of free space, mu naught. Neither experiment involves light, movement, or waves. Yet, if you multiply these two numbers, take the square root, and invert the result, you get exactly 299,792,458 meters per second, which is the speed of light. Why is the speed of light hidden inside two stationary constants? To understand this geometrically, we must look at how electric fields occupy space. Imagine a positive point charge. It projects electric field vectors outward in all directions, creating a spherical flux. The strength of this field at any distance r is inversely proportional to the surface area of a sphere, 4 pi r squared. The constant epsilon naught sits in the denominator of this relationship, acting as the geometric resistance of empty space to the establishment of this electric flux. Now, let us look at the magnetic counterpart. Imagine a straight wire carrying a constant current. It generates magnetic field vectors that do not radiate outward, but instead wrap around the wire in concentric circles. The strength of this magnetic field at a distance r is proportional to the current and inversely proportional to the circumference of the circle, 2 pi r. Here, the constant mu naught acts as a scaling factor in the numerator, measuring how easily magnetic flux lines can form in a vacuum. Let us analyze the dimensional geometry of these constants. Permittivity, epsilon naught, is measured in farads per meter, representing capacitance per unit length. Permeability, mu naught, is measured in henries per meter, representing inductance per unit length. When we multiply them, the unit becomes seconds squared per meter squared. This is the reciprocal of a velocity squared. Taking the square root and inverting it reveals a physical speed. C equals 1 over the square root of mu naught epsilon naught. This dimensional analysis hints at a hidden electromagnetic wave. The connection becomes dynamic when fields change over time. Imagine an electric field vector pointing upward, but its magnitude is increasing. According to Maxwell's equations, this temporal change in the electric field acts exactly like a physical current flowing through space. This changing electric field induces a magnetic field that wraps around it horizontally. The strength of this induced magnetic field is scaled directly by the product of epsilon naught and mu naught. At the same time, a changing magnetic field behaves as a source for an electric field. If that newly created horizontal magnetic field vector begins to decrease in magnitude, it induces a vertical electric field vector in the adjacent region of space. This mutual induction forms a closed loop of cause and effect. The rate at which the changing electric field can spawn the magnetic field and vice versa is limited by how quickly the vacuum allows these fields to build up. Let us visualize this spatial propagation. We have an oscillating electric field vector along the y-axis and an oscillating magnetic field vector along the z-axis. As the electric field changes, it projects a magnetic field forward along the x-axis. As that magnetic field changes, it projects an electric field further along the x-axis. To maintain this geometric balance, the entire coupled vector system must translate forward through space along the x-axis. Mathematically, we can describe this motion using Maxwell's curl equations. Taking the spatial derivative of the electric field and combining it with the temporal derivative of the magnetic field yields a second-order partial differential equation. The partial derivative of E with respect to x squared equals mu naught epsilon naught, the partial derivative of E with respect to t squared. In wave mechanics, the coefficient multiplying the second temporal derivative is always the reciprocal of the wave speed squared, proving that the propagation velocity must be 1 over the square root of mu naught epsilon naught. If we substitute the experimental values into this wave equation, the physical reality becomes clear. The permittivity of free space, epsilon naught, is approximately 8.854 times 10 to the negative 12th farads per meter. The permeability of free space, mu naught, is exactly 4 pi times 10 to the negative 7 henries per meter. Multiplying these values yields approximately 1.112 times 10 to the negative 17th second squared per meter squared. Taking the square root and inverting gives the exact velocity of 299,792,458 meters per second. This geometric relationship proves that light is not an independent material substance, but a self-sustaining ripple of electric and magnetic fields traveling through the vacuum. Today, engineers use this relationship to control the speed of light in optical fibers and photonic crystals. By engineering materials with custom permittivity and permeability, we can slow down, bend, and manipulate electromagnetic waves, forming the foundation of modern high-speed telecommunications and optical computing.